Good day, everyone. If you're new to this channel, don't forget to subscribe to this channel. This channel attempts to make sense of the new America, its challenges, its crises, its problems, but also its opportunities. As the saying goes, when life gives you lemons, make lemonade. Today, we'd like you to focus your attention on growing divisions within the American political right. The question needs to be asked: why is this happening? And how can we take this into account when moving forward? American politics on the right has taken a much more populist angle. Why so? Well, the answer is obvious and plain for all to see. The average American feels disenfranchised and neglected by their elected leaders. The average American sees massive corporations and big businesses raking in substantial profit, whilst they can barely afford basic necessities such as food and shelter. Republicans saw this as unjust and demanded change. And so, change happened. Against all odds, opponents, and foes, the real estate mogul and TV celebrity Donald Trump won the Republican nomination and eventually the presidency of the United States. He won on a platform of looking out for the average guy. He would spur business activity to create more and more jobs, and he would shut down the border to prevent illegal immigrants from taking the jobs of hardworking Americans. His message had an intense appeal to its targeted audience, and everyone chanted, "Make America Great Again." This was the beginning of a white nationalism that Trump himself would later denounce. The discontent started to grow during the Trump presidency, actually, when the flow of illegal immigrants and immigration into the country was not severely tempered. The discontent continued when Trump spent like a drunken sailor and increased the deficit. And the discontent hit a crescendo when he supported the shot during the pandemic. Despite this, Republicans turned out in large numbers to support his re-election bid because a lot of his bad policies were blamed on the team around him. He also still inspired in many courage and optimism. He was seen by many as a victim of the purported deep state. When he lost, Republicans did not take that very well, claiming election fraud. Trump still has a robust following due to this dynamic. However, a rift is starting to take shape. Many young people, particularly young white males, are starting to revolt against the mainstream right. They maintain that it is not they that left Donald Trump, but that it is in fact Donald Trump that left them. They had expected significant change, a revolution of sorts. This revolution never happened, and they're torn apart by it. Can you blame them though? They expected something that they never got. The average young white male is lost, without hope and without purpose. The mental health epidemic acutely strikes this demographic, and they now commit suicide at an extremely alarming rate. This demographic saw Donald Trump as a messianic figure that turned out to be a fraud. As a result, they became experts in conspiracy theories and believe in very dangerous race and gender ideologies. Now, one may be tempted to disregard young white males as being wimps and crybabies. But this, my dear sir, would be the wrong approach. Though they are misguided, they still have legitimate grievances that should be addressed. A man's primary role is to start a family and provide for said family. If economic opportunities look bleak, then men lose that primary role, which then leaves them void of any purpose. That is his duty. If you deprive him of that, then he loses his manhood, and in a sense, he loses himself. The rise in feminism was a welcome force in modern society. Women deserve to be treated with respect and with dignity. So feminism took root in modern society, and society was better for it until, well, it went a little bit too far. Some women no longer believe they need a man, and if they do have a man, they don't see the need to submit to him. This is a conundrum of epic proportions because it is not clear that any side is to be blamed. Yet each side will blame the other when the true culprits are likely those placed above us. In the America of old, it was pretty common for men to have a high level of maturity and responsibility by the tender age of 16. In today's society, most men don't mature until well into their 40s. Women see this and are instantly turned off by it. A woman doesn't want a boy, she wants a man, or at least a guy with manlike qualities. Young white males realize their relative unattractiveness to women and rage against women and men of other races. They neglect to realize that the true culprit is their parents and a broader society. Women also direct a lot of hatred, resentment, and negativity towards men without realizing the neglect that young white males endure. However, both men and women are neglected, and it is a problem that elected officials, including Donald Trump, are not addressing. Men in general, too, are concerned with the cultural fabric of a society, and they see that the majority white culture is fading before their very own eyes. Now, maybe this concern isn't as serious as the others mentioned, but whiteness is seen as something to be despised. Therefore, anything relating to white culture or experience should be erased. Holidays such as Independence Day are seen more as a time for fun, as opposed to a day of reverence and appreciation for the founding fathers. The national religion of Christianity is being usurped either by heretical dispensationalist logic or by Sharia law, and statues and monuments are being torn down or defaced in the name of, well, liberalism. These grievances affect men in extremely profound ways. Yes, it is true to say that young white males are being childish, whiny brats. But it is also true to say that society created this sick environment. These young white males are the future, and you can successfully ignore them now, but that policy will have disastrous consequences in the future. So, after listing out these grievances, I hope it's clear to see the rift or chasm that's developing within the conservative movement. Recently, Trump has pushed the RNC platform to support pro-choice policies, same-sex marriages, and a multiracial future focused on robust legal immigration policies. This policy platform is almost identical to the platform on the left. So as Trump leans more left, young white males are leaning more right. Young white males are increasingly becoming more pro-life, rejecting the now softened Judeo-Christian stance on abortion. Young white males are increasingly demanding more purity from women, and they want no more immigration, legal or illegal. This rift could ultimately result in an existential crisis for the Republican Party. Many don't see this rift yet, but it's gathering momentum and soon will be obvious for anyone to see. So, how does one deal with it before it reaches critical mass? The answer to this, my dear friends, is freedom of speech. No matter how heinous, society needs to allow individuals to speak freely without fear of censorship. Censorship does not, and I repeat, it does not fix problems. Rather, it exacerbates them. Advocates of whatever political policy should be free to debate ideas as soon as possible. The longer you wait to address these issues, the harder it will be to resolve them. So the advice is to take these issues seriously now and debate individuals with what you may consider to be dangerous gender and race ideologies. Encourage the discourse and debate in good faith, or the future will indeed be an ugly one.